Okay, hi. So today we're going to be going through my pile of possibilities for my WIT TBR, which is Women in Translation Month, which is the month of August. I'm mainly going to be focusing on books I already own, either physically or on my Kindle. I'm not going to be going into a lot of detail about the books. I'm just going to be giving you some info, the nationality of the author, what the book is translated from, translator, published dates. I don't know, we'll have fun with it. I would love for you to recommend me which ones I should read, or prioritize for the month of August. This isn't going to be all my reading for the month, but I do want to ensure I get to some. And we're going to be kind of meandering across the globe, but spending a lot of time in Europe, since that's where most of my unread translated books are from. Okay, so we're starting in Haiti. This is Moonbath by Yanick Lahens. This is translated from the French by Emily Gogolak. It's called a family saga that chronicles Haitian history and culture of magic, romance, and violence. So I'm interested to read this. This is out from Deep Vellum Press, and let's see when it was written. Published in 2014 and translated into English in 2017. Next, we're going to go to Spain. So we will start with a classic that is Nada by Carmen Laforet, translated from the Spanish by Edith Grossman. This is originally published in 1945 and translated into English in 2007. And this is part of the Modern Library Torchbearer series, which focuses on women who wrote on their own terms with boldness, creativity, and a spirit of resistance. This is renowned as Spain's The Catcher and the Rye. I didn't like The Catcher and the Rye, but I might have liked it more if it was from a female perspective, or maybe it's just the most famous coming of age novel of classic, I guess. So that is a book I own. And then the next one is translated from the Catalan, and it is A Broken Mirror by Merce Rodoreda. This is translated by Josep Miquel Sobrer. This was published originally in 1991, translated in 2006, and it was published by the University of Nebraska. I don't know anything about this book. I picked it up because of the language it was translated from, and I hadn't read anything from this language before. So, there's that one. And the last one I have from Spain, again, translated from the Spanish, is Learning to Talk to Plants by Marta Oriols. This is translated by Mara Fay Lethem. This is about grief of a woman after her husband passes away. And let's see. It is out by Pushkin Press. And when did it come out? It was originally published in 2018 and translated in 2020. Okay, moving a little bit east, we are now going to be in France. The first one I have is The Heart by Maylis de Kerangal. This is translated by Sam Taylor. This is a book that takes place in the day. There is a car accident, a fatal car accident, and then it's following the heart being removed from this person and transplanted. This was published by FSG, and let's see about dates. Originally published in 2014, translation in 2016. All right, moving on. I Am the Brother of XS by Flor Jaggi. This is a short story collection that I actually started one time, but the writing is very stylized. This is translated by Jeannie Aldehef. Originally published in 2015, translation published in 2017, out by New Directions. Next one, I think this is one of the more popular ones on my list, is The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbery. This is translated again from the French by Alison Anderson. This is out from Europa Editions. I think this involves an elderly protagonist, though I could be wrong about that. And let's look at dates. Do you guys remember, like, being in, I don't know, like, elementary school, and they taught you how to, like, read this page that has all of, like, the publication information? Probably not elementary school, actually, because you had to know how to put together a bibliography, even though online you could just press a button and have that made for you now. And everyone thought it was a great waste of time, but, like, I actually find this page very fascinating. So anyway, this was originally published in 2006 with the translation in 2008. Okay, we're going to move to Italy. This is another popular one, My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This is about a relationship between two women, their friendship through time. This is a quartet, I believe, translated by Anne Goldstein. This is, again, another Europa Edition book, originally published in 2012, and it looks like the translation was also in 2012. Now let's move to Germany. Again, a Europa Edition book. We have a trend here. This is Broken Glass Park by Elena Bronsky, translated by Tim Moore from the German, and I think this is a coming-of-age book. Okay, so this was published in Germany, translated from the German, takes place in Germany, but the author is actually originally was born in Russia. This was published in 2008 and then translated in 2010. Looks like a coming of age where the protagonist kind of lives in like a tough neighborhood. Okay, let's move on to Poland. This is Olga, I don't know how to say her last name, Tokarczuk. She's a pretty famous, won the translation booker, international booker. There we go, I got it. For flights, maybe another one. Maybe Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. I have a totally different book I haven't heard anyone talk about. One of her earlier books that is called Primeval in Other Times. This is translated from the Polish by Antonia Lloyd-Jones. Let's see, this is out by Twisted Spoon Press. It's one of her older books, it looks like. It was originally published in 1992 with a translation done in 2010. Now we're on to Hungary. So this is The Door by Magda Szabó. This is translated from the Hungarian by Len Rix. This is out from NYRB. I loved the editions of these books. I really love the feel of Europa and NYRB books. I again don't really know anything about this. I just know it's like pretty praised and popular in circles of booktube. So original publication in 1987, translation performed in 2005. Unsettling exploration of the relationship between two very different women. But seems like fitting for Women in Translation Month. Okay, the next one I have on my Kindle, it is, let me look it up. The author is Bosnian and it's called Mars. The author's name is Aja Bakic and it is translated by Jennifer Zobel. I'm not going to be able to get all of the other information through Goodreads, but I will put it up here. This is another short story collection. It showcases a series of unique and twisted universes where every character is tasked with making sense of their strange reality. One woman will be freed from purgatory when she writes the perfect book. Another abides in a world devoid of physical contact. With wry prose and skewed humor, an emerging feminist writer explores post-Soviet promises of knowledge, freedom, and power. Sounds really interesting. I think I have one more for Europe. Okay, this one I'm not reading. Like, I'm just telling you right now, I'm not reading it this year. It is The Museum of Abandoned Secrets by Oksana Zabusko. This is translated by Nina Shevuk-Murray from the Ukrainian. This is by a Ukrainian author. And I saw Mariana Moss Books talking about this, and it sounded really interesting, but she just like put the picture up like, you know, like a screenshot. And I can't get this through my library, so I was at a used bookstore and I saw it and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I can't get this at my library. And then I saw how thick it was and I was like, oh my God, am I gonna read that? But I decided to pick it up anyway, and I don't remember what it's about, but I own it. We're leaving Europe. One that I am currently reading, I have been reading this book for a while, so I might still be reading it in August, is Disoriental. Again, it's in the other room. I don't want to go grab it. I'll pop up all the information here. I do know it's a Europa edition. This is translated from the French and mainly takes place in Iran, though it does switch back and forth between there and Paris. So I will, if not finishing it in July, will finish it in August. And then let's go to Africa. So the first one is from Senegal. This is translated from the French. It is So Long a Letter by Mariama Ba. It is translated by Modupe Bode Thomas. I don't know much about it, but it's very short. This was originally published in 1980. Translated in 1981. Who was this published by? Waveland Press. The next book on the list is God Dies by the Nile by Nawal El Saadawi. This was translated from the Arabic by Sharif Hettada. The author is originally from Egypt, and it is out by, or at least this edition is out by Zed Books Limited. And it was originally published in 1974, and the English translation occurred in 1985. I don't know much about this book. I have this book and another one of hers on my TBR. I've just heard really good things about this, and I am looking forward to reading it. Moving to Asia. First, we have Love in a Fallen City by Eileen Chang. This is a Chinese classic. Well, not a super old classic, published in the 1940s. It's a short story collection, originally published at different times within the 1940s, translated into English in 1996, and this is an NYRB Classics edition. I'll probably end up reading it in May for Asian Readathon and May of the Moderns, and kind of tie it together with this book. But I am excited for it. They're thicker short stories. I think there's only 4 in here, if I remember correctly, so they're a bit longer, which isn't usually my vibe, but I'm willing to try it. Okay, and then last one, we have Blood Sisters by Kim Yideum. This is translated from the Korean by Jin-Yoon Lee. The author is from Korea, and this is, it says, a steely novel of resilience. It's a debut from one of South Korea's most outspoken and renowned feminist poets, and it follows a college student, like a year through a college student's experience. It is out by Deep Vellum, and originally published in 2011, translation published in 2019. Haven't heard anyone talk about that book either, but those are all of the books that I own physically and on my Kindle that are by women in translation. Let me know if you've read any of these and which ones you think I should prioritize. But that is all I got for this video, so until next time, happy reading.